whatever you want to take it away.
Cool. All right. My name is Hayes Barnes, and my beverage of choice is a Crown Apple Ginger Ale.
Has that always been your favorite beverage?
Man, no, it hasn't. I went through. Freshman year of college, vodka was the drink,
Ooh, okay.
and let's just say I can't drink vodka anymore.
I'm in the same boat.
Too many like dark eyes, Kamchatka.
Oh my!
Bro, Chach is crazy.
Yeah, that takes me back to like late high school days when we were slinging around that half filled with water.
Man,
So-
oh yeah, that's terrible.
The dilution.
And I didn't drink in high school. I went to a military boarding school, and
Okay.
so it wasn't worth the risk of getting caught because
Yeah.
you were booted.
For sure.
So it was pretty much like as soon as you were out of school, I started drinking. I think some people were still going, but we went vodka. Then I was on a Captain Morgan kick.
Yep.
And then Crown Apple came through, and I was like, let me cut it a little bit.
Sure.
And ginger ale, it's just the perfect mix. It can be a little sweet, I will say. If you don't like
Okay.
a sweet drink, don't drink it. But you can drink it all night, and you're chilling,
Okay.
staying at a perfect level.
I've
So,
never been a ginger ale guy. I get it maybe from the sweetness, but I like sweets though. So I feel like that should be something up my alley.
How do you feel about Fresca?
I'm gonna be honest. I think I've had Fresca one time in my life.
Fresca. I mean, honestly, if I could change my answer, I would actually say Crown Apple Fresca.
Okay.
Fresca's like the universal mixer for me. Like
Okay.
you can do it with dark, with light. It's perfect. Like you can do Fresca and tequila, and it's pretty much a Paloma.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you can mix it with whiskey. You can mix it with whatever you want. It's so good.
Is Fresca like is it carbonated
It,
soda?
yeah,
like,
it's
type
it's
of
a
drink?
soda water.
Okay.
And it's like grapefruit based.
Okay.
So, but it's very subtle. Like
That's been around for a minute though, right?
yeah, it's an OG.
Did you grow up drinking Fresca?
You know what? I did grow up drinking Fresca.
Okay.
we'll get into the identity part, but I'm mixed. I grew up with a white mother, and we drank Fresca in that house, man.
Okay. Yeah, I'm adopted by two white people, so I grew up calling it pop because I grew up in Northwest Indiana. Drinking Coke. Well, in high school, we had a Pepsi bottle machine in our locker room. I was an athlete, so I was always in the locker room before school, and I was literally addicted to Pepsi because I drink like 4 bottles a day. Terrible. Absolutely
crazy.
terrible.
That was back in the days though, when you got a bottle and you might get a free soda in the cap. That was the shit.
That part.
Dude, that was like the best marketing ever. I'm so mad that they don't do that anymore.
Yeah,
like
they used to do all kinds of cool stuff
dude,
with products.
it was like such a unique experience when you got it. It was like you wanted to buy one just to see if you would get the cap.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. I that and like some certain cereals had shit that you could get.
Dude,
Like,
there was the what was it? The Captain Crunch, that game. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I forget what that game was called.
What was that game called?
But dude, I still have it. Like when I go home, I'll still play it sometimes.
Okay.
Like, you like grow your crunchling.
Yeah.
And you
yeah.
have like
Okay.
the different games that you
yeah,
can play.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, that was
You said when you go back home, where's home for you?
Culver, Indiana.
Okay, I was gonna ask if
Yeah.
that was the military school.
Yeah, that was the military school. So my parents moved there before I was born.
Okay.
For the sole purpose of if we go work at this school, like one, it's a great gig, but two, all of our kids can go there for like 1% of the cost.
Yeah.
And that school is more expensive than where I went to college, which is Butler.
Okay.
So it's like we got a great setup. They made a really good family move, career move. It was definitely weird. I had a beautiful childhood, but there were also moments of being mixed in a town of 1,100 people in the sticks,
Sure.
right? In
Yep.
Indiana,
Yep.
right? And so that juxtaposition was really interesting. And I was very aware of it growing up, but I think I've become increasingly aware looking back.
Totally.
As I've gotten older. Yeah.
Well, you gain perspective with time.
100%.
Like I completely resonate. Growing up as one of maybe like 4 Asian people in a town of like 4,000, but still predominantly white.
Yep.
Pretty conservative.
Yep.
And same, had a really positive experience growing up.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of things that happened that made me not just question, but like suppress my identity and not want to be Asian.
Internalize it.
Yeah, and it took a long time for me to like get away from that and get out of that.
Yeah.
And realize kind of the impacts that it had on my life in between those times. Like
100%.
learning it and then being like, oh, that wasn't right.
100%.
Were there any other mixed kids at Culver?
You know, I feel like the only black kids were damn near mixed kids. There was like there were like 2 black families that technically lived on the edges of Culver. And then most other kids, and when I say most, like we're talking about a handful, right?
Sure.
Were mixed. So you know, we had some common experiences. We didn't really have the language, right?
Totally.
And also, like, candidly, my dad, to us, there was really no difference between being mixed and being black.
Sure.
Because when you look like any of us, quite frankly, when you look like any of us, you're a nigger up there, like straight up.
Sure.
To the people that feel that way, right? Most of the town is extremely welcoming. It's honestly the kind of like the surrounding counties.
Yeah,
like
the people who don't get out of those areas.
Bro, like when I was 10 years old, I was a football player, and the opposing team was instructed by their coach or by their parents to punch me at the bottom of the pile and call me a nigger. Like, crazy shit. Like,
that's fucking insane.
Yeah, this is Stark County. It's a town called Knox, and they still have an active Klan.
I know all about Knox.
Actually, I don't. You know about Knox? Okay. Knox. So yeah, like long history.
Yeah.
That even happened when I was a sophomore in high school. I got clotheslined. It was a dirty play, and he stood over me and called me a nigger. Like,
damn,
crazy shit. Now, like, my dad, he was aware of the environment. Both my parents were aware of the environment that they chose to raise us in, and I agree with them that it was worth everything for that opportunity. But he raised us as black kids, and so to me, the difference as I was getting older was having experiences where I'm not resonating necessarily, or I don't have this experience that I would call the typical black experience, right? And I would be reminded by members of the black community that I don't have that black experience, right? Or that you're not black, or they might even call me white. And there's nuance, right?
100%.
Because for one, as a person that's mixed, I understand the privileges that I have, right? Or even if you're light skinned, but especially if you have a white mother, there's a lot of privileges that come with that, generationally, in education and healthcare, all of these things, that I didn't have to worry about. But at the same time, it became, I got so confused, I think, with, well, like, I had this experience growing up where it didn't matter if I was mixed or not. They called me a nigger.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, to them.
Yeah.
Like, I was black. Like,
but it took me probably until my mid-20s to really, like, not just to understand, but to feel it and live it. That, like, the definition of blackness has nothing to do with oppression. Right?
Okay.
Like you are not, because you are more oppressed, that does not make you more black.
Sure.
Right?
Okay. Yep.
And so we can't use these experiences to police blackness.
Sure.
Or to represent blackness more than others, right? I hope for our community that our blackness is simply just defined by us.
Yeah.
Right? And it's defined, I believe, also by your parents.
Sure.
Which is why I will always say that I'm mixed and black. I'll always say the two of them, because I'm not trying to misrepresent my own biology as well.
Sure.
Right? Because there is a unique experience that I had as a mixed person and continue to have that a black person doesn't understand, a fully black person, and there's an experience that they have that I don't fully understand,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Now, I
Yep.
feel like I've struck this balance of being able to be able to live in both spaces and have as much empathy as possible.
Sure.
And I find that the people that are in my life do the same for me
Sure.
as well. And it's less about pointing out certain things about me that's not like their experience.
Yeah.
And so I just, there's nuance, and it's a diaspora, and it's a
Yeah.
spectrum.
Yes.
And I think it's okay to be at any point on that spectrum and be able to acknowledge and embrace and celebrate your identity.
Yeah, well, like you said, when we weaponize our oppression to then put down other people within our diaspora, we are doing the work of the oppressor.
Exactly.
Like, we are now perpetuating the same kind of division, the same kind of, I guess, racism, I'll call it, but the same kind of barriers. We're creating the barriers for people in our own community to not be welcomed in, to not be embraced, to not feel like, oh, I can be myself.
Exactly.
I totally resonate with that because, like, I played sports too. When I was in 7th grade, we played a basketball game. South Newton. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
No.
Yeah, small towns. We played in the small town schools, but a parent, I like fouled a kid, and a parent yelled from the bleachers, "Go back to your own country." And then I don't remember them yelling it, but I remember when we came home that my coach called our house. And so he talked to my parents, and my mom's like, "Hey, your coach wants to talk to you." And he's like, asked me if I was okay. And I was just like, "Oh, yeah," like I didn't even know that was happening. My parents were pissed, rightfully so.
Yeah.
But like, I had already begun to internalize whiteness and like proximity and surroundings because I experienced some things that made me want to feel like being Asian was wrong in the first place. And so when I got to college, and I went to Purdue, and there's a lot of East Asian, particular international students there. The first time I had a conversation with 2 other Korean people, and I told them I was adopted by white people, they go, "Oh, so you're not really Asian."
There it is.
And so that locked me into this, like it affirmed to me that, oh, like my experience isn't like valid in that realm. I'm just going to hang out with my white friends, you know, and do that. And so, like you talk about mid-20s or in your 20s, that's when you started to like understand it a little bit more in your own way.
Yeah.
That was me at 30.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, now with hindsight and perspective, I'm like, man, I wish that I wouldn't have experienced the college experience of like finding yourself 10 years after the fact.
No, 100%. But everyone's journey is different, man. And I think regardless of the situation, I try to understand that these isms, racism or whatever ism, is a system, right? And we experience that system a lot of times in personal interaction. But it's especially when I got to a place of like feeling years of feeling on the outskirts of the Black community that I realized it's not personal, and I understand. I understand what it's like to have these experiences in America of oppression, and somebody comes along that you know it's not the same, and you want to say something about it. Like, I get it.
Sure.
That speaking is the system.
Yes.
Right? That's not the person. Like the soul, you know what I mean?
Because we got to take the time to get to know somebody first.
Exactly. And so once I understood that, granted, it's a lot easier for me to have that opinion with my community, with Black folk. It's a little bit harder for me to extend that grace on the other side.
100%.
Right? But like, these systems run so deep. We talk about internalized racism, but it's really generational internalized racism that informs most of what we're experiencing on a day-to-day basis. Like, things that people say that bother me, like, it's not infrequent in certain communities that don't know me. For like, I might say, for instance, there was a time where I was with my lady, and I was with her friends, and we were talking about random fun facts, and one of my fun facts was that I loved applesauce. And this is weird. I use applesauce as like a condiment.
Okay.
Like, I'll put applesauce on my pizza.
All right.
Like, I know. I do some crazy shit. And people listening, they'll probably laugh at this, and it is objectively funny. One of her friends who's Black was like, "Oh, you were raised with the white mother, weren't you?" And like, okay, that's hilarious, right? Like
Sure.
if I heard a stand-up comedian say that, I would laugh.
Sure.
But like, what fixes your lips to think that you can like question all these things about, like, that's just a very personal
Yeah.
assumption to make that I would never suggest about any other person or their family. So it's just interesting on certain topics. Um, there are certain privileges when you're surrounded by your people that you feel like you can speak on other people's experiences.
Yeah.
When really that's not really respectful.
No, and
Yeah.
I would even say it's not a privilege. It's like you said, it's the ism, it's the system.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's like this misunderstanding of, I don't want to say ownership, but like you feel like you own that experience now
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I'm 100% Asian, or I'm 100% black, or
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
100% Latino. Like, and now if anybody comes in who's mixed race or who is adopted by
Yeah, yeah.
transracially, like that gives me, in terms of a hierarchy, a higher seat.
Yes.
And so
yes.
the higher seat to me denotes that I can speak on your experience.
Yes.
But if you were to say something to them about their experience, they'd be like, whoa. And they would, I don't want to say would, but hypothetically probably get offended
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you brought that up.
Yeah, yeah. No, exactly. And so yeah, I mean, I've had so many different experiences regarding specifically my racial identity, but I feel like right now I'm in the best place I've ever been, which is so beautiful. And I think the biggest attribution to that is a sense of community. When you have people in your life that understand who you are, and frankly, for me, it was so important that those folks were black.
Sure.
It was so important.
Totally.
I grew up with white people. I had white friends growing up. I never had problems making friends with white folk, but there was never really a full understanding.
Sure.
Right. Until later in life, I would say. And so to be surrounded by not only like just such a loving black community, but also such a creative black community,
Yeah.
and one that just looks out for each other and loves on one another, has really given me the experience that I felt like I didn't have growing up, because I wasn't close geographically to my black family. So like,
Sure.
like I didn't have the experience of like going to my cousin's house and like we're growing up together,
Yeah.
right? Like,
yeah.
and I hear that from so many black folk of like that just that core family,
Yeah.
and that extended family. And I always kind of felt, I'm not gonna say robbed, because it was like, it is what it is, but like I wanted that so deeply, and I yearned for it, and I've been able to make that happen for myself, and I'd like to think that I've made that happen for others who are looking for community too.
I fucking love that, dude.
Yeah.
You're like speaking my language, because literally so I'm at the best point that I've ever been with my identity, with just who I am and how I feel,
Yeah.
particularly from a mental and emotional health perspective. But I feel the same. Like I felt, especially now because I had suppressed it for so long, like unpacking my experience and realizing maybe not that I was robbed, but the experience that I had kept me from a lot of things, like community,
Yeah.
like just culture in general, like
Yeah.
language,
Yep.
food, all of these things that I am now at 30 to 36 am trying to like pick up the pieces of. And something I've talked about on all of my shows is the way that I really struggle to connect to my ethnic culture, Korean culture, and stuff specifically. However, as an Asian American, I wholeheartedly feel like if somebody looked at my experience, that term, that label makes a ton of sense, that identifier, because the term Asian American came about as a umbrella of solidarity for the different people who had immigrated here from Asia to then be a better ally and community for the Black Panther Party and the black community specifically during civil rights. So Asian American is only like 80 years old.
Yeah.
And so like when I think about the way that those pioneers resisted the generalization of just being Asian, and instead said Asian American means that not that we're generalizing all the people that come from the 50 different countries that make up the continent, but that it is about lifting all of us up and showing all of our other communities around us that, hey, we're going to be here with you. I'm like, that makes a lot of sense to me.
100%.
And so, I did not know we were going to talk about all this. Was there a specific like first moment that you felt like you found community?
Yeah, I mean, yes, there was. I think that the catalyst of this was when I became the marketing director at Gang Gang.
Okay.
My intention of joining Gang Gang, what it was about changing my career. I did 4 years at Lilly in marketing, went and worked for an agency out in New York for a year, and also in the healthcare space. I never wanted to stay in healthcare or be in pharmaceutical manufacturing. Never really spoke to my purpose. I understand how the industry works. I'm not really cool with it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I think that there are tremendous medicines that people have, and we need that. I just don't like how the system works.
They shouldn't just cost $10 million.
Listen, for anybody who's like, they have the cure to cancer. No, they don't, because they would be charging you literally $10 million for it.
Truly.
Like, they're not sitting on a gold pile here. But no, I wanted to, I did a podcast, and I interviewed people all around the city. It was called Why Indie Podcast, about what they do and why they do it. And that really, over the course of the 3 seasons I did it, it really just became me talking to creatives. And I was like, oh, like this is, I did a whole segment with artists, and I had artists create like an 8x10 piece for their episode, and that became like the art of their episode. And so like I was naturally creating infrastructure in my platform for creatives and for artists, not only to hear their stories, but to show their artwork as well. And it just became clear, like, this is like, if marketing is my craft, I think it's kind of dying in a pharmaceutical environment or in a healthcare. It needs to be married with this passion for the creative economy, and for supporting artists. And so I think that intention, first and foremost, was like so formidable for me to get over this hump of changing who I'm exposed to.
Sure.
Right? Like, it's hard to work a 9 to 5 in a completely different space and then try to like make new friends that have nothing to do with that space, right? And so the people that at the time were either on staff at Gang Gang or a part of the broader creative community, I just vibed with them so much. And within like a year, I just met my people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And added some in the years later. But I'm at a point where, like, if I have a problem at 2:00 in the morning, I have a good handful of people that I can call, and I know that they're going to pick up the phone and they're going to be there. And I feel like that was a really short list before.
Sure.
And so, yeah, I think that was really like the catalyst of it.
Okay.
Was just access for me, like access to people that think like me or that look like me and that are so invested in this city and want to see it grow. So yeah, that was really where it started.
Did you know you're gonna land at Indy after you went to New York? Well, because you went to Butler, so
I went to Butler.
Yeah.
So I was remote in New York.
Oh,
but,
okay, gotcha.
But so yeah, I stayed in Indy. I did do like a year and a half in Nashville.
Okay.
To live with one of my best friends from Culver. But yeah, I knew I wanted to stay in Indy, and really doing the podcast, I fell in love with the city like all over again.
That's what I'd be doing.
And naturally, I'm also, like, anyone who knows me, I'm also very critical of Indianapolis as well.
Sure.
And I think it was Mariah Ivy. I was hanging out with her yesterday, and she said something like, the artists in Indianapolis, different from other cities, like, we have to build the thing that we want to be in. And I've just been thinking about that ever since she said it. Like, we don't have all this infrastructure where we're like, oh, I want to be a part of this art show.
Yep.
With the exception of like Butter, right?
Sure.
But like across the mediums, there's not, like, we might have one of something.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we have the Heartland Film Festival. And maybe one of the best film festivals in the world. Honestly, it's
right now,
it's number one.
Number one,
Yeah,
USA Today.
That's right. Like we have these things, but it's not an ecosystem yet.
Yeah,
It's not fully. We're so young in this economy, and so that's how you get an Oreo Jones starting Treese,
right,
which is also like, who does that in other places? Like,
right.
that's cool. Like, you literally had an artist and with a group of artists start this thing that's been going on for 10 years now, 11 years
and
now.
to do it without institutional support, like almost unheard of, I would say.
It's incredible. And so I just I think a lot about that. But I have so much respect for the artists and the creatives that do that.
Yeah.
And also a lot of critique on how our money moves in this city.
We gonna get into it. I have literally wrote lack of infrastructure as one of my notes for this conversation. But before we jump into that, I want to ask you just kind of one more question on the identity piece.
Yeah.
Is that so? You begin finding community through Gang and through just the podcast and having conversations and like meeting your people.
Yeah.
Did that change the relationships that you had with people, like I don't want to call it your prior friend group, but people you've been friends with, like growing up from Culver and stuff like that?
Not at all, man. Not at all. And I think that's the gut check on whether those are all real relationships. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it would actually be like crazy if it did, in my mind. Like I feel like, especially at the time that I'm making these relationships in like my mid to late 20s, I feel like I'm at my most full version of myself, right?
Yep.
And so I'm able to bring a different type of energy and investment into this type of adult relationship that is not the baseline of my relationships when I was like 14, right?
Yeah.
So there's something different that's happening in both spaces, right? But never like a loss in one or the other area. Like, and I think I learned from my relationships that have lasted longer in my life, the ones that really matter, we could go 6 months without talking.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I'm not even going to question their intention.
Sure.
Cuz I know that we're here. It's so deep, it's so spiritual, really. Like it's like we could literally go like a year without talking and we'd be like, "Man, it's been a minute, but like you want to go like, you want to go hang out like," and that's my brother, like that's my best friend. And it's also easy that with that relationship, like we don't need the good mornings and right. Like we don't need a lot of the superficial stuff or the like high maintenance things.
Right.
We're just brothers, you know? And so those relationships, I've been blessed to have them. And I've also been blessed to like find out what it looks like to make friends and like actually do the high maintenance things as well. And like show care and show love. And like that creates community. You know what I mean? So nothing's changed on that front.
Nice. I appreciate you sharing that because, like, for me, I feel like I've almost had the opposite experience where a lot of the relationships that I came up with, once I started down this identity path and, like, understanding myself, I just realized that most 98% of those people were not either willing or able to come along with me on that journey or go on their own journeys themselves.
That's
and again,
a filter.
they gotta live their lives. And I'm not here to tell them how to live it. It's just I'm surrounding myself with community and with people who are, if not aligned in like the ways of thinking, at the very least aligned morally and consciously. And I have my best friend, my brother. We could go 2 years probably without talking, and it would be like if we ran into each other, just be like, oh, like it's just like it's nothing. And it's like I've had to go through the process of kind of grieving some of these other relationships, which does suck because I'm like, oh, 3 of those people were in my wedding. You know what I mean? And it's like, so I appreciate you sharing just because it's like it gives me hope to see like people can make those things happen. And especially coming from, the sticks. Like, coming from small town Indiana, it's hard to find folks who have been willing to kind of be understanding, be empathetic, be open.
But it's also like it's a filter.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
And I think that reveals so much about who your real friends are.
Yeah.
Because like I'm trying to learn more about myself and my heritage and hang out with more Asian people, and y'all don't want to be around. What the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Do you like that logic does not add up?
No.
Unless you just want me to be a little spicy white guy.
Exactly. That's
Right?
the only, and that's the thing. I only saw myself as a white person.
Yeah,
And so that's the
that's
only way they
interesting.
saw me.
Wow.
And so even when I started to be like, oh no, I'm really Asian. Like, well, one of the things I grew up with was like, you're the whitest Asian I know, or I don't even, you're not even Asian. Like, and so like hearing that
like
over
you're
and
one
over
of the
and
good
over,
ones or some shit.
Basically
Yeah,
that.
man, that's crazy.
Hearing that over and over and over again, that's how you internalize a thing.
Yeah.
And then when you like kind of break out of that and are like, oh, I'm gonna actually be the most whole version of myself. Some people can't really wrap their heads around that because they only know this version of you.
Man.
And this new version, this whole version of me, the person that's accessing the piece of me that I wouldn't show anybody else, because I wouldn't show myself, like that to them, unless they're in it every day, like they really don't even have the opportunity to learn it.
Yeah.
And like if I extend the opportunities and you're unwilling to come, like one time, okay, 2 times, 3 times, it's like, all right, this is a pattern.
Yeah.
And like this relationship doesn't serve either of us, I don't think.
No, let it shed.
Yeah.
Dude, I just want to say, like, I know how hard it was being mixed, right? But in our dynamic, I had the privilege of having my parents and their traditions and their lessons, right?
Totally.
I can't even imagine what it's like to have that complete generational disconnect.
Yeah.
And trying to confront that and work through it, you know? So I just want to say, like, I see you in that, man.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's a whole thing. But we're here. And it's like part of the reason I got into podcasting was specifically to talk about identity and my identity. And so, like, through that, I've been able to access community, or find the opportunities to be in spaces with folks that look like me, but also are like have been moving differently in the ways that I didn't even have models for when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And then in college, like almost intentionally, even though it was unintentional, like subconsciously stayed away from, because that was antithetical to my white friend group that I was so comfortable with.
Yeah.
And it was just hard to break out of that discomfort.
For sure.
So yeah, we just doing it.
That's beautiful, man.
Okay, so you brought up this conversation you had with Mariah.
Yeah.
Mariah, please come on the show. But talking about having to build the thing, because it's just like we just don't have even the foundation to build up from. It's like we're still had to build before. Jet Santiago. Yeah. So he just posted something about the same thing. He's like, artists. There's people that complain about not enough opportunity. Then there's people on the other side that are complaining about like certain people getting this or that, or not getting support in this way or that way. And it made me think of a conversation I had with Maxie. And he was talking about the lack of infrastructure in the hip hop community. And it's like, I don't know. He's like, I don't know that I've built infrastructure. I know we're in a better place now than we were. And it's like, I know that I can only do what I have the ability to do.
Yeah.
And like, if other people want to support that, that's great. If not, I know I've built something for myself to make it keep going.
Yep.
When you were doing the podcast and you were starting to enmesh yourself in the creative scene, what were like the specific lacks, the gaps that you noticed that you were like, hey, we really need to be looking at this right here?
Yeah. Man, there's a lot. There's a lot. I'm sure on my phone somewhere I got notes and notes and notes. I haven't looked back through them in a while, but off the top, let's talk about the film scene. What do you know about it?
I know one person.
You see what I?
Yeah.
I have tons of friends that are filmmakers
Sure,
and that are
yeah.
extremely talented. I don't know the last like legitimate feature film that was shot here.
Well, we just had, I think, a year or two ago. I can't even think of the guy's name, but we did
the
like
Sweet
a.
Life of Zach and Cody guy.
Was that who? Well, they did something on like Hilbert and they or somewhere like, and they had like a big premiere. And
I know
stuff.
that. I'm pretty sure that was
Okay,
the
that
Sweet
might
Life
be.
of
Yeah, that
Zach
might
and
be.
Cody guy.
I was not familiar with the guy, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the point is that we don't.
Right.
We're not a destination for that. Yet at the same time, our like geographical infrastructure, you could shoot a movie in Indianapolis and it could be anywhere.
Yeah.
We don't really have significant landmarks for real. Our skyline really isn't a skyline fully, right? So like, I know that there's the IEDC is working on improving their offering for a tax incentive on this, but we're not competitive in that market. But we have the opportunity, right? Because we're at a time where people don't really want to make movies with Hollywood right now. Hollywood is not what it used to be. And people are making movies all over the world. People are going overseas to make movies because it's more affordable to do it.
Yeah.
And also at the same time, if we look at like the broader economic landscape in America, things are going to start trending towards the Midwest.
Yeah.
Coastal economies are going to start migrating to the middle of the country. So we're in a prime position to take advantage of that. But even if I'm a local filmmaker, how do I get my chops and make it?
Sure.
I appreciate all the people that are doing work in the ecosystem, but I just don't think that the indie film network is going to.
Sure.
I don't think that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Right? So
we can't just be a group of creators meeting together.
Because if I live in New York City, I can look up and I can see, oh, here's all these different production companies. And I know that if I can get my script to this production company and if they read it, I'll have at least a chance.
Yeah.
Where are you taking your screenplay right now?
100%.
Where am I going to take that right now? We don't have a robust film education network either, where I can like improve my skills here in Indianapolis without having to go somewhere else to become the best producer, the best director, or whatever, right? And because of all that, we also don't have enough people making movies. So if I'm just like 19 years old and want to get started, I don't get to just jump on a set, right?
Yep.
Like I don't get to like have that opportunity, which is why you see everybody, the old stories, you buy your plane ticket or you buy your bus ticket and you go to LA and you try to make it as a PA or whatever you can do. But if I wanted to do that here, how could I do that?
Yeah.
Right. So there's almost like, I'm not going to say there's no infrastructure in film, but it is very, very, very small.
Yeah.
Like the basement is not finished.
Sure.
Right.
This is something I think about across like my community specifically, but especially as I've gotten more tapped into indie. Like I talk a lot about, we like to build a lot of floor. So we like to like start a thing and then like everybody's starting a thing.
Yes.
But rarely do we ever build the walls. We don't put up the framing. We don't make a roof or windows. Like we aren't actually building the infrastructure. And so I appreciate you saying that, because you're like, we haven't even got the basement done yet. We haven't even we haven't really even dug out the foundation.
Yeah.
Because there are pockets of people who are doing things, but unless you're in the know, like it can be kind of hard to access those because there is no marketing apparatus that shows you, hey, this is here, that's there. You were talking about like you could go to New York and find a person. That made me think of like J. Cole's story. He's like, I went to sat outside of Rockefeller and waited for Jay-Z or somebody to come out so I could give him my tape.
Yeah.
You can't. I guess you could probably go into Nap or Nothing and get Max your tape, but it's like that was like the biggest hip hop artist in the world at that time, and somebody was like, I'm gonna leave North Carolina and come to New York, and I'm gonna do that.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is I think the culture's changed, right? Like the mixtape out the back of the trunk, like that culture is no longer here. Everybody can make music at home.
Yeah.
Everybody can distribute it, right? So how do you stand out in that? And so if we go to music, I think Indianapolis has some incredibly talented hip hop artists in particular that if in different environments, if different infrastructure existed here, I think we're talking about a completely different story,
100%.
right? We are not short on talent in that regard, but at the same time, at any given time in our recent history, our talent pool isn't growing, and the reason why I say that is because whether you're, let's say, 19 to 24 and you're really pushing hard, there comes a point when you're at 24, 25 and you didn't make it.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not too late by any means. Right.
Sure.
And I'll always say that, like, Morgan Freeman didn't get famous till he was like 40. Right.
Yeah.
But like, you start to wonder, like, well, when do I need to grow up? When do I need to get a job? I'm broke.
Yep.
And so many of our artists do a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Because they have to. And also, they were doing a 9 to 5 before, right? But like, they're now like thinking about career.
Yeah.
And what does that do for the creative mind and for that creative potential? Is it slowly drains it out until you have different priorities now. And so at any given time, you've got artists coming in, you've got artists that are pushing, and you've got artists exiting.
Yep.
And you're always trying to identify who's going to be the one or the. But how can you even support them without the infrastructure?
Yeah.
Right. So we have Treese, which is incredible, and it's been going on for 11 years. And the fact that OJ started that and bootstrapped it and did it for the community, and Fountain Square looked very different back then.
Yeah.
Right. Like, that's a testament to the lack of infrastructure that existed, and not only the lack of infrastructure, but the lack of desirability that Indianapolis is for outside investment. Right?
Okay.
Because it's not that there weren't hip hop festivals in other places, right? People didn't want to bring that to Indianapolis. Indianapolis is a great city for convention tourism, not for cultural tourism, right? And so because of that, we have to kind of grow our own culture. And what I would say, in a city that we don't have a true sense of identity yet.
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
So how do you create the culture without that sense of identity?
Sure.
And that was one of my biggest findings from the podcast. Was you could ask 100 people what the identity of Indianapolis is, and you'd get a lot of different answers, and really not a whole. The only consistency you'd get was from a white perspective.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
And it was probably the 500. And
Sure.
it's like, but I don't feel the 500 culturally, like in my bones or with anybody that I know. I don't feel that.
Yeah.
And so we have a fragmented, segmented identity that there has to be some sort of rallying unity. And I know that there are some civic organizations that attempted to do that.
Are attempting still, I think.
And here's the thing. Here's the other thing I'll say. You can't just brand it. Like, culture and brand are different things, right? Even, you know what? Here's the one thing that I think we in my years since the podcast, if I did have it to give us an identity, what I would say is Naptown, and not just as a name, but like when you talk about Naptown, to me that feels like, one, it acknowledges Indiana Avenue. That's where the term was coined, and it was coined in our Black jazz community, in the heart of where 50% of the Black community lived in Indianapolis, which was the culture. If you take Bourbon Street out of New Orleans, that's what Indiana Avenue in Indianapolis is right now. If you take Beale Street out of Memphis, like, that's what we had. We had 33 Black-owned jazz clubs in Naptown, and you would not know that anything like that existed. Looking at it today. So what does that do for losing history? Like, what does that do to our culture and our identity within that culture now? We don't really know what to say, right?
Yeah.
But to me, Naptown speaks to grassroots, bold, proud, creativity, not this like white flight, downtown sleepy, and so we like
Yeah,
it got
yeah.
totally.
It got appropriated.
It got appropriated,
Yeah.
as did the namesake, being Indiana Avenue, got appropriated in the same way that the term Naptown got appropriated. It's no
Yeah.
different, and it's around the same era too, with
Yeah.
I-65 going through it, IUPUI knocking down all those homes, right? Unigov reclassifying the tax dollars away from the black community and out of black schools, and so. Yeah, I mean, to me, Naptown, it's more than a name. It's acknowledgement. It's a feeling that I think represents our culture today, of this like scrappiness that
Yeah.
we have, this hunger that we have. And so when I talk to people, I feel like most people today, that's something that we all kind of believe in.
Sure.
But at the same time, it can't be misappropriated again and become
Yeah.
a brand.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it's nuanced, but it's interesting.
Well, it's part of that expediency that we were talking about. Like, I would say for the most part, I mean, I fall into this category too of like efficiency, but especially when I think about like white folks and the hub of the small business, like we go the brand route because we want it now.
Yeah,
And we don't want to take the time to slow down to actually think about, okay, why?
Yeah.
Why are we this?
Yes.
Why is this the culture? It's more like, oh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks good. Oh,
Yeah.
we got great designers. Oh, that looks great on
Yeah.
on the window. But
Yeah.
like, what does that actually mean?
Yeah.
And like this erasure of history, like that's one of Indiana's like the states, the countries, like
Yeah.
that's one of our staples.
Yeah.
Is just getting rid of history.
100%.
And so like you said, how can we can't even build on a foundation that's doesn't even exist anymore, like,
Yeah.
or it's in tatters,
Or they're just trying to paint it.
Exactly, paint over it.
Right, yeah.
Exactly.
Literally just trying to paint it.
Do you think that the like us getting to that shared identity is like is the first or maybe the next step in building this infrastructure? What do you think are like some of the things that we need to be doing now to start moving in that direction? I think that we are a little bit, but again, it's on the creative and less on the institution.
Yeah, no. And I also have to acknowledge, right, that I'm looking at this from like the creative economy is a very small niche within the greater city.
Sure.
Right. But the creative economy is what drives culture. So to answer the question, I think that the identity part has to wait.
Okay.
And it's waited this long, and amazing things have happened. I think that the identity has to be informed by the culture. And so we need infrastructure to support our culture right now. I think that there's been many attempts to create this infrastructure. I think some of that has been made too flat. Right. So the surface area of where we're trying to build, it's covering too many people, too many things, to the point where everybody goes up an inch and it's too spread out. It's not concentrated enough. I really think that if you curated infrastructure to support a specific medium, or even a specific sub-medium within that, like I'll just use an obscure example. If you created like infrastructure for Foley, right?
Okay,
in film, like sound, that could be enough to get us started, right? Like I think about what kind of niches are we going to have that's going to make us desirable for outside investment? Because our money is so civically oriented in Indianapolis, like most nonprofits per capita in the country. and that has invaded our own creative mindset. Where do I need to go to get money? I'm not thinking about some investor or some brand deal.
Right.
I'm thinking about going to get the grant or going to work for this nonprofit to be able to pay my bills so that I can create. So there's always this contingency, right? So what do we need to create or invest in for a specific medium type that's going to be like, man, Indianapolis, they have some of the best Foley people in the country. We need to go and we need to do our mastering of the film here, whatever that looks like, right? So that's one approach that you could have. But to me, it's like, who are the 5 people you're going to invest in? That's where I think we need to be.
Sure.
And let them build the infrastructure.
Sure.
If like I really believe that I can think of 5 people right now that are at the perfect time in their career, and have the perfect skill set and know what they need to build. If they had $1 million in 5 years, Indianapolis is a completely different place. It's literally a capital thing to me.
Sure.
Like we were talking about Mariah Ivy. If you gave Mariah Ivy $1 million, she's going to change the city of Indianapolis.
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly believe that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people like that, but I think we try to, and this might sound bad, but I think we try to spread our chips a little too wide, and we have this idea that everything has to be inclusive, right?
Okay.
And I think from a human to human perspective, we want to be inclusive people, right?
But not everything is for everyone.
But business isn't
Yeah.
inclusive, right?
Yeah.
Like if you are being asked to invest in something, you're not going to accept every single pitch,
Yeah.
right? So I think that there's a degree of critical thinking and like professional judgment, not like your art sucks, right? But like, this is going to impact our city.
Seeing beyond the moment.
Exactly. That if we invested in like 5 of those people that we really believed in and let them build the infrastructure, because clearly a lot of organizations and institutions haven't built it in a way that we feel the impact of.
Yeah.
I think we're looking at a completely different city. And I think that impact can transcend generations, quite honestly. Our artists do everything here.
Yeah.
So what happens if they can just focus?
Man.
Like, whew.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like when we can allow people the opportunity to just create.
Yes.
I participated in a program at IUPUI where it was speculative play and just futurities. And for the first like 3 weeks of the 4-week program, I thought I was so worried about what I had to produce. And at one of my meetings, they were like, you don't have to make anything. Like the point of the program is like, we're going to give you this stipend so you can like use our resources and build the idea.
Yeah.
And then after the program, like go out and execute on that. And I was like, oh, I'm like, I've never been in a program that didn't require you to make something with the resource you were given.
Yeah.
Like a tangible production of something. And that I completely agree that it's going to requires that capital. And I feel like part of what's made that conversation more difficult is the like rise and awareness of what capitalism is and how terrible it has been.
Yeah.
And like we are in that system for better or worse to a point where it's almost impossible to escape it.
Oh, it
And
is.
so-
It literally is. They will kill you.
Exactly. And so it's gonna require those dollars.
Yeah.
And I think like if we can find that investment, yes, and we need to find the person or people who have that access.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking for the progressive leftist billionaire, George Soros. Where are you? Like I'm looking for that person to be like, here you go. And like, and at the end of the day, that if it happens in Indy. When it happens in Indy, it's because somebody's like, I'm willing to take the risk.
Yes.
And the way you just put it is like, it's not a risk.
No.
If you find the right 5 people and invest in the right 5 people, your money is going to double over and whatever. Like, it's going to, like, I can't even think of the word, but it's going to grow.
Yeah.
Like, your investment is going to make so much more on the back end because, like you said, it's not we're not spreading it so thin. We're allowing the right people to help raise the entire city up.
Yeah. Here's the other thing I'll say too. I get so much inspiration from hip hop, and hip hop's not even something that I felt connected to growing up for many of the reasons that we talked about earlier. Like I grew up on different music. But the story of hip hop and how that started, it's so inspiring, and it's something like Indianapolis is like, if we're comparing it to like how hip hop came up, we're still like in the late 70s, bro.
Sure.
Like hip hop has not come yet, like, like metaphorically.
Yeah.
Like obviously we have hip hop here, but like we are behind. We are truly behind. I think about a bunch of kids in a basement in Atlanta disrupted the music industry like never before. Like the Dungeon Family that story is insane. And so even as we're talking right now and we think about infrastructure, those kids weren't thinking about that, right? They were just undeniable. So for artists, like we have something to carry on this too.
Totally.
Have you worked so hard at your craft that you are undeniable? Right? Like it doesn't matter about the infrastructure, it doesn't matter where you're from. This cat is cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I mess with their music, or I love their films, or whatever that is. How undeniable is your talent? And if you have infrastructure, it makes it that much easier, right? But like we know all of hip hop came from culture. It came from that, right?
Yeah.
And it popped up in all these different places, right? Like, of course, it started in New York, but you get Atlanta, you get Virginia Beach.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know about Virginia Beach unless Pharrell, right?
Right.
He was undeniable, right? Like, and so it's so captivating to think about this huge dominant culture that I would argue is actually hip hop might be a little too big right now. Like too big that some things are considered hip hop that probably shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And also people are appropriating it, right?
Yeah.
Mainstream. But like it was a bottom up thing. It came from individuals living real hard lives. And they decided you got to choose who was going to make it out your city with who you supported. And it's so different now, but it's so inspiring to me because 50 years later, it runs the world damn near. And it started just from black people being black.
Yeah.
So like, who am I to say that we don't have enough infrastructure in the city of Indianapolis? We just got to be undeniable, man.
Bro, I've never heard anybody say, like, it started from the bottom. It's like a bottom-up thing. I have even talked about, like, when you're talking about culture setting, like, it starts at the top and comes down. Like, think about it in a corporate setting. But kind of anywhere. It's like, your leaders are going to set the tone for the culture, and you expect that, like, trickles down into all aspects. Yeah.
Very Republican.
Yeah, but it's just like, but that's like, I don't want to, like, it shouldn't be that way.
No.
Like, people that rise from the bottom, like, can get to the top.
Yeah.
But then going through that whole, like, I won't call it struggle, that journey.
Yeah.
To get to there, you know what it takes to pull up. And that's why you see people who leave positions and people are like, why are you leaving? It's because they know that, like, they've done what has been needed from them.
Yeah.
And that there are more people who are waiting for that chance.
Yeah.
That's what I talk about, the seat at the table all the time. I'm like, the seat at the table is one thing, but if you just sit at the fucking table and not do anything, then there was no point of you getting to the table to begin with.
No.
Are you going to build a bigger table? Are you going to bring more chairs? What are you doing once you get there with your privilege to help the other people where you just came from?
Who are you bringing in that room?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And like, if we could start, I want to like, I got to think about ways to talk about that more, but just like that bottom up mentality, because we do have undeniable people here.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. I would give, if we could give $1 million to, I guarantee the city would be in a better place in 3 years. Probably.
Right.
Like that's the thing too. Like I've talked about maybe not moving so quickly. And I totally get that. Like you said, we've been waiting. Like the culture, like Naptown's been waiting, been here and been waiting for these people to have this opportunity to do this.
Yeah.
And I think we're in the moment.
Yeah.
We just got to choose to take the moment.
Yeah.
And make it happen.
Exactly. The other thing I think that some of this infrastructure I think is very simple and it's very sacred and it's just space, dude.
Yeah.
Like I think that our creatives, just like the city of Indianapolis, is very fragmented.
Yep.
Now, granted, there's some sort of creative cultural event. You're going to see the same people there. You all know each other, right? But who's like like when I go back to Dungeon Family, right? Those weren't just cats that like knew of each other and they're each doing their stuff over here and
Yeah.
no, they were in the basement together.
Yeah.
They were actively creating together. They were fighting. They were, they were defending their words. They were giving each other lessons and how to improve them. Like that type of engagement.
Yeah.
We just need a space for that.
Mm.
And if you did that with a number of different artists, and it's not an event, it's
Right.
not a program. We are in the lab.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
If we create spaces like that, I think it just changes the energy completely about how we're creating.
Yep.
And what we're aiming for, and what ideas get built out of that.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The other thing I'll say about infrastructure, and I wouldn't even call this infrastructure necessarily, but it's audience.
Yep.
I really believe, I said this on my podcast all the time, I think that 97% of Indianapolis is completely tapped out of our cultural happenings.
I would agree.
They have no fucking idea.
Yep.
They don't care.
No.
Like they pay attention to that probably about as much as I check my mailbox. You know, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like I'm good. Oh, is that a bill? It's probably on my email too. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes, 100%.
Everybody is living their own individual lives. And
tap in on the phone
with their families, out
exactly.
on the outskirts of the city. Nobody lives downtown, right? Like we're what, around 1 million people total since Unigov, and I think maybe 20,000 people live downtown. So let's talk about that, right? Fountain Square used to be an artistic hub. What does it look like now?
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like. All of the signs of gentrification in the residences.
Yep.
A coffee shop moved in.
Yep.
I love Bovacanti, but a coffee shop is like the number one sign of gentrification, right?
Yep.
Like everything is there. But I think that Indianapolis gave up like mentally, and I think this goes generations, mentally gave up that our place was worth caring about culturally. And so we import all of our culture, right? No shade, but who was the creative producer for the WNBA All-Star? Wasn't that Kevin Hart Productions?
Yeah.
Sorry, I know that people were freaking out over that, but that's real.
But yeah,
there were people here that could have done it, but I mean, granted, it's Kevin Hart. It's like you got to do what you got to do, but we believe that our culture needs to be imported. The music that we listen to, I'll even say this for myself. I'm not necessarily always listening to local music. I got artists all over the world that I like to listen to, right? But like, we don't even look to like, where am I going to catch the next show?
Right.
Like, it's typically the same kind of amalgamation of people in different combinations.
Yep.
And most of the city is completely tapped out. And it's really hard to keep creating. No matter if you built this infrastructure and came up with this great idea and it's such a good product, here, it might not hit.
Yeah.
Because no one showed up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or it's just your homies or it's just other creatives that you know.
Yeah.
But like, it's really hard when there's a lot of people that just aren't paying attention. So again, how do you do the impossible here and how do you be undeniable? Like, I always go back to hip hop because like, Black people got like teenage white girls to like be rapping.
Right.
Like that's insane. Right. Like that's insane to me. But it's because it's undeniable.
Yeah.
Like
I
just think that like there's so many lessons in how that movement has existed, and I really think Indianapolis is one of those cities that never came up in that era. You look at where culture is now. Detroit. Atlanta, a different kind of culture in like Austin, right?
Sure, but it still has changed.
Houston and Dallas and obviously New York, but I mean, there's all of these different markets. It's like we kind of missed that wave, right? So how are we either going to create our own? And that a city like Austin is a great example of that.
Yeah,
very cultural, different type of culture, but like they made a name for themselves, independent of any other larger movement. and they're doing great for themselves. So what's going to be our thing? What are we going to place a bet on? I care about the creative economy, but like maybe
Right.
that's not the thing.
Sure.
It could be anything. Like it could be sports betting for all I care. As long as there's something that's bringing in outside capital, there's something that's the engine
Yeah.
of the city, that money's going to go other places.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then there's also more audience for people to engage with the artists.
Right.
So I think we just got to place that bet.
Who are some of the other people that you feel like are undeniable? Like, if you feel like they
Oh,
are
man.
comfortable to be named.
Yeah, I mean, there's like in terms of like artists, man. Like, I mean, I've worked very closely with Fitz, and so it's hard for me. I mean, Fitz and Ashley Nora.
Yep.
I mean, I believe wholeheartedly they are going to pop the fuck off in the next year or two, and that will come from their own infrastructure.
Right.
Right. Like, I think the first step, yes, is having a butter, but the connections that they made, those are their connections.
Yeah.
Right. The drops that Fitz has been doing with me and Nags, that's us, you know, like, and I think that comes back to like, I truly believe that the next wave of whatever cultural renaissance we want to call it this time, it's not going to be institutionalized. It's going to come from individuals working together and collaborating. And I think our work with Fitz is a great example of that. Man, in our hip hop scene, there's so many.
Yeah.
There's so many. I think for me personally, I love Sirius Black. I absolutely, I love Sirius Black, man. He's so special, so talented, a true artist. And not everybody in hip hop today is
100%.
Somebody newer that I haven't listened to a lot of his music, but I've seen the impact that he's having is 4200 Corey.
Yep, that's who's on my mind.
I'm really like, man, like, I'm also a believer that sometimes it's better just to invest in one person.
Sure.
Right? Like, you can create a whole organization that's here to support artists, or you can just say like, no, I'm rocking with this guy.
Yeah.
And if I think that if he makes it and he's repping Nap on as he's going, that if he really does make it, that changes so much.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, like he's absolutely one of them. I'm trying to think of like other mediums. We got visual art, we got music, film. I got to shout out my boy Mark Bessiacki, man.
Oh, hey, Mark.
Incredibly talented.
Yeah. Well, he be doing a lot with the kids and like teaching kids how to do the stuff too. Like he does everything.
Yeah. I would just love to see him have the opportunity to make a feature film. I would love to give Mark $1 million and see what he does with that. Because I mean, you give him $1 million budget to make a movie, and I know that's got to return. Yeah, like I know it's got to return. So I really believe wholeheartedly in him. I'm trying to think of other mediums, photography. I mean, that's a little bit more difficult because I feel like a lot of our photography, not all of it, but our photography in this city is dominated through like a what's the word? Like for service model.
Yes, I was going to say, like, you rarely get to see photographers like create for themselves, and they're creating for an organization.
Yes, like a lot more creatives versus artists. Yes. I think that's okay. And I've seen some really strong photography come out of the city, but I'm also not a connoisseur, so it's hard for me to say like this is the one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, if we're talking about literary works, it's Mariah.
Yeah.
And then I also got to shout out, like, this is not in hip hop, but like a vocalist in Dashae Mansfield that like she's dropping her first project, which like I'm so proud of her because she's been making music for a long time. And I feel like what she's releasing now as her first project is like, one, I was like, wait, this is your first project? Right. But secondly, like, I respect the craft in that of like working really hard for years and then putting that into like a really well-developed, mature first project.
Yeah.
And so again, she's one that's like, man, I would love to just stand behind her and push her as far as she can go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, those are a few that I would shout
I mean, that's
out.
a great list.
Yeah,
for sure.
Now, also, let me add this though. Those are like individual artists. If I'm talking about somebody that can like build something,
Yeah.
right? Mariah's on that list, no doubt. Nigel Long is on that list.
Yep.
One of the most well-connected guys. Everybody loves Nigel, even though he might piss us all off. He's the brother that everyone loves, but you're like, damn, motherfucker.
That's hilarious.
I know he's listening to this, so he's gonna get a kick out of that. Yeah, Nigel Long. I mean, I think OJ's in that camp. Like, man, what does Treese look like with $1 million of investment? You know? Like, ooh, that just fires me up. I know I'm leaving people off this list.
I mean, that's the whole point, though. Is like you talked about. I could name 5 people now. You've already exceeded the 5 people, and that just speaks to, like you said, the talent is here.
Yeah,
like the people are here.
Yeah,
and it just like and just to think about, if you just didn't have to worry about where the capital was coming from, just let us build, let us create.
Yeah,
good God,
I really think that it's tribal, and it's not tribal like we're putting up walls, but it's like, no, y'all are doing your thing over here and you're doing your thing over here, and we can come together at moments, and other times we'll, you know what I mean?
100%.
And you've got all these different people that are on the same course, but I think we're a little too individual right now.
Yeah, well, we're just all in our own pillar or silo. There is not enough connective tissue.
Yes.
You're 100% right. I think if you look across the spectrum of people doing stuff in the city, like if you asked them all, we all want the same, something similar to the same thing. If we want better for the people in this group of people that we're working
100%.
for, we want better for the people in the city. And if we could all just get connected like that and know that that's what's going on, like, do your thing.
Yeah.
Like, build the thing here. And like that becomes the wall, the structure for the walls to be built.
Yep.
For the house to get fully built out.
Yep.
And then when we have this whole house, that's when people start coming. People aren't going to come here if there's no house to come into.
Nope.
They're just going to stand out in the cornfield. We've been doing that.
We've
already been doing that.
Literally.
And like this, like, I think if we could we don't have to be together all the time. And we also don't have to be isolated.
Nope.
And we don't have to isolate ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, we just gotta start coming together a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. And if you're ever in a position to turn down the net 30 check, turn it down.
Yep.
I really believe that. Like, go get your bag, especially if you need the money. Go get your bag. But if you are in a place where you can say no to something, that would be like, I think we have to remove the reliance on institutions. Like, I really think we have to do that if we're gonna go anywhere. And instead, let's just build that thing together. Yes. Let's do that together. Let's own the intellectual property, and let's own the profit.
You're doing that right now.
Yeah,
like, you're
right,
doing it.
Right?
Literally doing that.
Trying to, man. So it's like, I just think we got to work together more, whether that's 2 people or whether that's 4. And I also think that so many of our resources are distributed in too inclusive of a way.
Sure.
And I'm really not trying to knock on people, and this is myself included. Like, I am experimenting in creating figs, right? Like, that's part of what we're doing at Draw. And in that, like, I've found that, oh shit, like, I'm actually like, I'm sanding, I'm finishing, I'm painting, I'm like, this is low key a piece of art that I'm making.
Yeah.
And my fiance is like, well, yeah, like that's, and I'm like, yeah, but like, I'm not an artist, right? Like, and the reason why I say that, no, here, I'm gonna get to the point. The reason why I say that is because there is a bar. I believe in a bar, and I've been making these figs for 6 months, and they're great, and I love it. But I'm not going to take that title because I respect it.
Yep.
And what ends up happening, I think, is there are a lot of people. We have a tier of excellence here, and then we have a lot of people that aren't very good at what they do. Listen,
Somebody gotta say it.
that are not going to change the city, that are not going to go. This is so bad. That are not going to like ascend, right? And I'm not talking about people that are new to stuff or
Sure.
right? I'm talking about we've seen it.
Yes.
We've seen the work. I know that we all know, right?
Yeah.
But we're still going to enjoy it. But there's a lot of those folks that are using resources that could either benefit the really new person or the person that is already excellent and is ready to excel and go somewhere. And I'm not saying that this middle group shouldn't be making art.
Right.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that we need to create infrastructure that's more targeted and tailored. Either to new, so we can like get the next Basquiat, or that we can make sure Basquiat becomes Basquiat, right? But this middle group where we're like, are you Basquiat?
Yeah.
Could you be? We already know.
Yeah.
Like
We've been here. We've read that
like
book.
You are not a paintbrush away from Basquiat status. Like we know that.
But that's the loudest like contingent of people who are talking about we need this funding or there's a lack. Like that's a conversation happening right now about the IDC, like who's getting the money from that, and it's like, well, like you've been doing a thing, like people, like it's a like that's
it's a hard conversation because I'm not trying to say that you suck at what you do. I'm just we need to be. Not everything has to be for everyone.
Exactly.
Like and it's all wrapped up in this civic nature that we have. Right. And so if I were a business, if I were an investor, and I were to be making investment choices. In no way, shape, or form am I opening up the floodgates and saying everyone gets $100,000.
Yeah.
But when it's a civic organization, we have said this is open for everyone. It's about impact.
Yeah.
But what about a more deep level of impact?
Sure.
With a smaller group of people and benefactors, right?
Sure.
And that hasn't really happened as much. And so what happens is, so many creatives have a sense of entitlement. Let's talk about that. For the expectation that every platform is for everyone. Even when it's not. Or that you kind of are inflating maybe how good you are. And that entitles you to different. I mean, I've seen folks that are like, I should be getting paid twice that for like a 2-hour show. What are we talking about here? Like, tell me how that makes sense in the business model. Like, how many people are you bringing? You know what I mean? Like, and so we've got that relationship between civic dollars and creatives at a ground level has to change. And I think that if you were just to simply tailor programs to maximize depth of impact, not the width of it, right? Reduce the volume, and I really think that you're going to get some incredible experiences from some of the best creators in the city. Yeah.
Because when you invest in those, like, you're right. I think I don't know that I've talked about this on any of my shows in a while, but like for a minute we were talking about. I think people have a fundamental misunderstanding of what inclusion means, and because it is so like race adjacent, in most conversations, and even in that standpoint, it's not inclusion is not meant to just everybody have everything. It's meant to be like, hey, there have been spaces where historically this group or this group have not been allowed into. Now, how do we create an equitable space? Which, again, this is another thing people misunderstand. It's like equity does not mean it's like we're all equal. It means that there have been things that have made things unequal, inequitable, and we're not just trying to level the playing field. We have to make up for the ground that has been lost. And so, like, when we think about inclusion for all, it's like, well, I mean, if that's what you think it is, like, if you're not black, you're probably not going to get invited to the barbecue. Like, you're not just because it's all inclusive now doesn't mean you just go to the thing. Like, you can't just come to my kid's first birthday party as a Korean person just because you entered in that thing because it's all inclusive now.
The way you said it, it sounds like the barbecue was an all inclusive.
Oh, right. Well, even then, you ain't coming. Like, unless you get directly invited, like, you are not allowed to come here.
Right.
Like, that is not a space for you. And you're right. Like, we could treat our programming in a similar way because it doesn't mean that we won't create programs for anybody at any level to access.
Yeah.
It just means like, hey, this is the program for you that we can get you into.
Yeah.
This one over here is for these specific people, and you probably don't even have to know about that program. Because unless you get to that level, unless you reach that bar, like, this is going to be the space that works best for you.
Yeah.
And supports what you need to do.
Yeah.
And then maybe, just maybe, that will lead you to develop into somebody who reaches or surpasses that bar. And now you can access this next program. In the meantime, we've used this other program here for the bar setters to, like you said, support them in ways that allows them to truly transcend the barriers or the boundaries of quote unquote Indianapolis, or Indiana or whatever.
Yes,
like we can actually go. I 4200 Corey. When I had him on Conversation Piece 2024 March 317 day.
Oh, nice.
That was the thing that I asked him. I go, I've just started to become familiar with music. I really, really like it. But when I listen to it, I think this is a guy who who should be in New York, who should be in LA.
Yeah.
Like, why are you still here? And he's like, never say never. And he's like, I will never say never.
Yeah.
And it's just like, this is where I've built like what I need to do to get me to this place, to set the bar.
Yeah.
And he's like, if those opportunities come, that's great. And I always have now this foundation, my infrastructure here that I can always come back.
Yep.
And it's like, if I leave, it's like I never left.
Yeah.
Like, I still know my audience is going to be here.
Yep.
People are going to show up at the show. And so, like, can we talk about retention all the time, like, and the ability to attract and retain. Like, what about, I'm big in that. Like, I want young Asian people to stay here and help be pillars in our Asian community. And, like, I would never tell anybody you can't go to these places and experience and explore. You absolutely should.
Yeah.
But are we making those things, are we making it, like, is it something that you want to come back to? Is India a place that you want to come back to?
Yeah.
Like, does it have the cultural aspects that you need to come back to? Or is that why people are going to Chicago, to LA, to San Francisco, to New York? That's where Asian America is. But the truth of the matter is, like, that's where the visible Asian America is. But the truth of the matter is, like, Asian America is here too.
Yeah.
But what have we done to, I don't want to say market it, but like to develop the culture and build across our silos? It's like when we do that, that's when people are willing to come back or stay.
How do we make it vibrant?
How do we make it vibrant?
Yeah.
How do we make it, just something that you can be proud of?
Yeah.
In a way that people that are from any of those Chinatowns, in any of those places, are proud of.
Yeah.
To be a part of.
Yeah. I think in this city, so much of our issues are just dictated by space.
Yeah.
Like, and when I say that in this context, I mean literally streets and buildings and who owns those streets and who owns those buildings, right?
Yep.
We, like, for instance, the black community is pretty scattered, despite over half at one point in time being on the west corridor of downtown Indianapolis. So where's our hub, right? Like where do I go to really get to experience the vibrant black culture that we have? Like, there's a lot of black people on the Near East Side.
Yeah.
Is it a vibrant culture that I can, I'm going to Indianapolis. Like, like I'm traveling from Detroit. I'm black. I'm here in Indianapolis for work. Like, I hear there's a lot of black people in Indy. Let me go, like, see what's like on the East Side. You're gonna see probably what you're used to when you go to a gas station, right? Like, and I love living on the East Side, but the development that's come in has been white.
Yep.
That's just real. It's either been civic or it's been businesses, both white organizations, right? For the most part. And so, like, what does it look like to have a strip of black-owned businesses that are like doing well, and the buildings are taken care of, and the landlords are actually like invested in that corridor.
Yeah.
We don't really have that since Indiana Avenue.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I think space is really important, right? Mass Ave as a cultural corridor is probably the best that we have.
Yeah.
And I like Mass Ave.
Me too.
Do I find myself being like, oh, let's go for a walk on Mass Ave, on Massachusetts Avenue? I want to go boutique shopping.
Yeah, I feel you. I live,
You know
I
what I
live
mean?
even closer than you, and I feel you. I feel you.
Like, no, I don't do that.
Yeah.
And let me give you an example. When I lived in Nashville, is it Bourbon? What is it called? Broadway.
Oh yeah.
Broadway, right? Like we all know Broadway, and it's huge and it's insane, right? That's for the tourists.
Right.
Locals don't go there, right?
Yep.
We have our spots. So what's our Broadway? Are we saying that Mass Ave is our Broadway? Because I don't think so.
Yeah.
Mass Ave is really built for locals.
Yeah.
But like, I don't really know a lot of people that just be like doing that. Like,
Yeah. No.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it actually kind of ends up that tourists probably spend most of their time there, especially like with Bottle Works.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
like,
you're right.
I don't need to go to the Eagle more than twice a year. I know way better tacos than Bakersfield.
Yep.
Right? I do like Ball and Biscuit. They have great
Ball and Biscuits
cocktails.
is good,
They
yeah.
have a really good bread pudding, I must say. But like, I don't remember. I've maybe been a year since I've been to Ball and Biscuit.
Yeah.
And so it's like, take race out of the equation, or like any specific identity community. We don't really like have these great spots to like patronize that are like closely and intentionally planned together.
Yeah.
The only thing is Bottle Works, and was one singular development, and they have their own agenda, right? And I don't really want to always go to a food hall. Like, we've been there, we've done that. Like, we all knew Circle Center Mall, right?
Yep.
Granted, the food is better. I'm hating a little bit, but like, I guess that's my point. Is like, for such a planned city, we did not plan our culture.
Yeah.
And where that culture was going to be disseminated. And our first floor retail across the entire downtown area is atrocious.
Yeah.
And so what we always say, it's like the city needs to be more walkable, right? But like, it's
gotta have places to walk to.
Yeah, it's pretty walkable. But like, I'm not walking past a bail bonds place,
Yeah.
like a law office, another bail bonds, and then a liquor store.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not doing that. Or choose one of the 8 banks that are taking up like the major retail spots.
Yep.
Like on Monument Circle
Yep.
and on Pennsylvania and Illinois, I think there might be about 8 or 9 banks or financial institutions.
Yeah.
Right? If you go on the Circle alone, the center of our city, the center of our state, right? This huge, beautiful monument. There's no other place like that. Like, you see that, you know that's Indianapolis. That is our signature. We have an H&R Block.
H&R
A
Block.
FedEx.
Chase.
We have the Columbia Club, which is cool. I mean, I've
never been in there.
Not for me, but it's historic. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. I don't know what the Obama Pan is now,
What is that?
but it's like another one of those national things.
Yeah.
The South Bend Chocolate Company. A Rocket Fizz.
Yeah.
I think there's like a radio building there
There is a radio station right
with
there.
no first floor amenities.
No. You can look at them
You
recording
can look
the radio.
at the
show.
recording. What else am I missing?
Hilbert City Theater. That's the one. That's
Okay. The theater's cool.
Command Coffee.
Oh yeah, but that will start. Yeah, like what are we doing? Like what are we doing? That should, first of all, it should be pedestrian only. You should not. You have 2 one-ways or you have 4 one-ways all around it. why are we driving around the circle? It should be pedestrian only. All those sidewalks should be like, you should have cafes and restaurants with outdoor seating. They can put up the heated infrastructure for the wintertime. You should be eating and shopping on that block with some of the best brands. Like, to me, it doesn't need to be local in that context. It's just good. It's just high quality.
That's what people come back for.
Exactly.
Like, they want to, after they go to the Pacers game or the Fever game or the Colts game or whatever big major sporting event or tourist thing that they come here for, why are they staying? Why are they going anywhere than their hotel?
Give them a high quality, like, Cunningham restaurant right there to anchor it, right? You can mix in some, like, other things, but, like, maybe regional restaurants, right?
Sure.
Not like these.
Sure.
We don't need another steakhouse.
No.
We really do not need another steakhouse. And it should I should be able to go get like a really good cup of espresso.
Yeah.
And I should be able to go, there's this beautiful bakery that like I can only find here, and it's just high quality and it's so good. Like, and in the wintertime, they should put a freaking ice rink around it so you can skate around the biggest Christmas tree in the world. You know what I mean? Like, where is the planning around like how we as not tourists but just residents get to experience the city?
Yeah.
And what happens when all those people come together? It creates this culture. It creates this thing. The Christmas lights have been going on for 64 years.
Yeah, long ass
That is a
time.
cultural component.
Yes.
We all expect it. It's a part of what we do around that time. We need to just invest in these things for generations so that we can, you know what I mean? Like, actually get to reap the benefits of the infrastructure that we've built. And that's, I think our downtown is like maybe one of the biggest things. It's like people will be downtown if there's shit to do.
Yep.
But if I'm under 21, I have no idea what you do in downtown Indianapolis.
Well, and it's like, it's all about like, that will help change the perception of our downtown, which right now is dictated by the media, which is like, oh, there's a bunch of murders and a bunch of kids running around killing people, like, which is not true. There might be sometimes a bad thing happens at 3 a.m., you know, but you go to any city, there's going to be 1% crime.
It is
like,
crazy, man.
And like, it's just, but that's not the truth. But we don't do anything really to negate that with like the businesses that we bring in or the people that we support, or like when we're only doing, so we're getting ready for Final Four. I might have to cut all this. But like we're talking about, I hear people talking about, oh, we're going to do these murals and do this and decorate the storefronts. And I'm like, I love that. I love that we're doing that, but why the fuck aren't we doing that every single day of the year?
Why are we waiting for Final Four?
Why are we waiting for the next big event? I just don't. That's something I just don't understand.
Dollars.
I do understand it, but it's just like. But even to that, from an economic standpoint, if we were to invest in everything that happens between the big events, people are going to come back to Indy. People are going to want to vacation here instead of just going for their corporate retreat or their corporate, like, whatever. Like, that, to me, makes more economic sense because you're putting in dollars to your local economy, your local business owners, and you're having these big conventions are still going to come here.
Absolutely.
But from the dollar standpoint, we'll raise the prices. We'll push people out. We'll get in more St. Elmo's. And more
it's also like the liquidity of that, right?
Sure.
So like when Final Four comes through, or NBA All-Star or WNBA All-Star, the reason why we're able to do so much is because we got a bag.
Right.
Right? We won that bid. We got a bag to do what we need to do.
Yeah.
And when those events aren't there, we're reliant on the pennies that they give the Arts Council.
Right.
Right? Which is underfunded.
Yes.
And it was underfunded before, and now it's significantly underfunded compared to, like, you go to Cincinnati and you see a mural maybe every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
They very well-funded Arts Council there. Same thing in Detroit. I mean, it's the city that has to say and set the tone that we're going to value the arts and we're going to value creativity and we're going to pour into the creative economy because we know that culture can be one of our greatest exports.
Yeah.
That has to happen over time. It has to be a long-standing commitment that is going to withstand administration changes. And we're in a red state.
Yeah.
Right? I don't really think they're thinking about culture
Well, because that's those dollars go into their pockets.
Yes.
And like that's the thing. If people could stand to let their pockets be a little bit lighter, like that would be sustainable.
Exactly. So that's why I'm just on the wavelength of whatever you want to do, find people that fill your gaps and that have the same mindset as you and create it, snowball it. It doesn't have to all happen at once.
Yep.
Whatever the grand idea you have is, peel it back to the minimal viable product, start there, and just keep taking whatever you're earning and pouring it back in, pouring it back in, and pouring it back in. And that's what we're doing with Fits right now.
Yeah.
And we're going to start bringing in other artists as well. But that's how I'm treating my other ventures as well. And so own your intellectual property and don't be reliant on any of these institutions or organizations. If they got a bag for you, take the bag. Right. Yeah. Like I'll never tell you to not do it. But if you're in a position where you don't have to and you can make that happen yourself, do it every single time, because the odds are that you're not going to get wrapped up in all of the political happenings of the city.
Sure.
And if you make it or if you don't make it, it's on your own terms.
Yeah.
And at least you have control.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, that's the wavelength I'm on right now.
I love it. I'm on the same wavelength, I think.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man.
All right, this has been the longest podcast conversation I've had in a minute, and I love it because I'm like, okay, we could go for at least another hour and a half. But I want to give you some of your time back today.
Yeah, sure.
Man, I appreciate you coming through and sharing and being vulnerable with me.
Absolutely,
it means a lot.
Man.
We've had a couple conversations, but we've never sat down and just like really got into it in this way. So I really appreciate it, and I'm like, bro, this is like somebody literally operating inside of my brain. So before I let you go, you talk about a little bit of the work you've been doing with Fits. Making the figs. What else you got going on? What do you want the people to know about the work that you're doing?
Yeah, I'm doing some interesting things right now. For one, I would say just check out our work at Draw Collectibles. That is our Instagram handle. We essentially sit at the intersection of making people that want to collect art, making that more accessible, while also getting artists in more living rooms. So like you can buy a piece at Butter if you got 15 bands or however much, right? But most people don't have that.
Yeah.
But can you buy something for 50 or for 75 and now you're collecting a really unique and rare limited edition piece from an artist like Fitz? Absolutely. And for Fitz, can you have more of your intellectual property out there than just one piece that you sold at this fair or this show or a gallery or what have you? And can you own that intellectual property and turn that into a brand and have a commercial arm to your business? So we're doing that with artists, expanding now in 2026, a few different artists in addition to Fitz. So it's just a really interesting, specific problem that we're trying to solve and just really getting into that world. So definitely follow us along there. I've got a few other things cooking up that I'm not quite ready to say.
Okay, that's
one
all
of
right.
them, one of them I'm not quite ready to say. The other I'll say, I'm working with Nigel Long.
Yep.
In an organization called Sound Off.
Oh, yep.
Very artist forward work. So we're partnering with a few different bands for some shows coming up later this month.
Nice.
In March, April, and May. The March and April shows have already been announced. And in March, we have Forgotten Tribe with an event that we're calling Global Frequency, also with DJ Virus. So this is kind of like, it's going to be at White Rabbit, March 27th. The goal is like, there's been this gap in like these more like reggae or Caribbean forward spaces since the Casbah closed.
Yeah.
So what does it look like to like try to not necessarily recreate, but like just reinvigorate that community and hold space for that community. And so Forgotten Tribe and Kyrie, I mean, they're gonna kill it, man. I'm so excited. So that's coming up in March. And then we've got a show with the Palace at the 808 in Broad Ripple, that new build out that Indie CD and Vinyl did, with Dashe Mansfield opening up for him.
Nice.
So Super excited for that. Also, shameless plug, Dashe has a show on March 25th at the Jazz Kitchen. It's almost sold out, so get your tickets.
Okay, well, this is coming out on the 2nd, so first Monday
Okay,
of
look
March,
at that.
so
Yeah. Get your tickets. Hopefully they're not sold out by then.
Where do you go to get those? Jazz Kitchen website or?
Yeah, it should be on the Jazz Kitchen website or
I'll link them here in the show notes. But
perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. And then the last thing, I don't talk about this as much either. Again, bar, and like I really believe in a creative bar, but I'm writing a screenplay.
Hey,
with a very good friend of
now
mine.
I know why we was talking about film.
Writing a screenplay. We've been building it for like the last year and a half, and we put in so much pre-work, and now we're actually putting ink to paper. And so that is such a fun process, incredibly intimidating.
Sure.
And I'm still so new to it that I'm not like shouting it from the mountaintops because it could be that we don't finish it, right?
Yeah,
like
totally.
But I really believe in the idea. I really believe in the premise, and I want to finish it because I feel like I'll regret it if I don't. So regardless of what happens, I can say I wrote this screenplay.
Yeah.
And that's what. Between Monday through Sunday, those are all the things on top of my 9 to 5 that I'm doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Bro, that is exciting about the screenplay.
Thank you.
But I feel you. As we close it out here, I do want to say, like, I appreciate, because generally when somebody says, I don't consider myself to be an artist or whatever they are.
Yes, you are.
Yes, I am the hype guy for that.
Yeah,
because,
for sure.
like, generally I get in our conversations and stuff and the things that I know about a person coming in, I'm
Imposter
like,
syndrome are all real things.
And it's
yes.
like, don't limit yourself in that way. But I appreciate you talking about, putting respect on the label itself.
Yeah.
And that respect extends beyond the label, but to the people who you consider to be artists. And I feel the same way because like I'm quick to give out a compliment because I like hyping people up.
Yeah.
I didn't get hyped up a lot, in the stuff that I liked. So I like to do that for people. And like I hate it when people are like, "Oh, well, you're this or you're that," because I'm like, "No, I have not done enough to be even put in the same room as these folks." Like
there is a difference between doing art and being an artist.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so like I appreciate you saying that because it's like we talk about modeling a lot on the various shows that I'm on, and not enough people model what it's like to put the work in and put the respect on the work itself and the people who have come before.
Yeah.
And I think we've talked about, the erasure of history, the glossing over of it. Like this is not only the the celebration of it, but it's like it's honoring in a way that carries the history forward into the present so we can build that better future.
100%, man. 100%. I appreciate you for having me on here, dude. This is such a cool thing. When I had a podcast, I invited people into my home too. So like this is kind of full circle. And
Picking up the reins from you, dude.
Never
you
that.
Set the bar for me.
Never
You setting the bar for me.
Never that. But no, man, this is so special. And I'm excited to listen back to this. I'm excited to dig into more of the guests that you've had on here. We need things like this. So as much as I dragged on Indianapolis today, I love this city. I love that it has people like you doing awesome shit, man.
Well, I appreciate that. And at the end of the day, like the people, somebody loves a thing when they can criticize it in that way.
100%.
If you can't be critical of the place that you're coming from, you're probably performing. And if you're performing, then you're not really invested in the place.
That works with just about everything but relationships.
Boom. Boom. On that note, Hayes, I appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you, man.